Hey team, we are back. This is part two of the recipe page challenge that we found on Frontend Mentor. So in the previous video, we set up our markup to make it work and all of our global styles, which hopefully makes the rest of this very, very easy and very, very fast. Okay. So today we are going to uh, look at getting our spacing right. Okay, we're going to get our spacing right. We're going to add those responsive styles. We're going to make it all just work. Okay. Starting off, we are going to add in some composition styles. Okay. I like to use Cube CSS, and the C in Cube stands for composition. Now, I've been using two quite almost fanatically, these two here, which are the flow and the challenge wrapper. Okay. The flow allows us to space things vertically. So we have some really nice defaults in here. This comes from Andy Bell. If you search on his site Piccalilli for his favorite 3 lines, you will find this bit of code and he'll explain it in depth. But to keep it simple, it helps us with vertical spacing. And then our challenge wrapper is just a block that allows us to center things in the page. Okay. We have our max width. In fact, I think, checking really fast. Oh, I totally did. Oh no, sorry. This is right. I've been changing this recently. So max child width, child doesn't mean anything here. So I'm going to quickly change this because I think it could be better. If we jump to right here and get rid of all of this, and then jump back before the max and just put that underscore, that kind of brings it in line with some of the other styles that we used up here, right? These quote unquote private CSS styles, okay? CSS custom variables, custom properties. And that feels a little bit better to me, okay? We will need to do one extra thing in here in a bit, but for now, we can go and add these to our markup, okay? So way over here, right at the top on main, we have our challenge wrapper, just like this. And then inside of article, we have flow. Picture we leave alone, but the content, flow, the aside gets flow, the UL, all of our ULs get flow, right? We're going to use that flow a lot. So right here, I think there's a couple of these. Let's go and grab them all. Brilliant. Back it out. Class equals flow, just so that we have it. Oh, it totally did not go in the right place. Here we go. Just like that. Hopefully that's right for all of them. Double checking. Yes, yes, and yes. Good. Okay. So now we are at the top somewhere. We did that. The list. Okay. So class equals flow. Okay. I don't know why it's jumping out of my quotes there like that, but right there. This ordered list, class equals. Seriously, what's going on with my VS Code? That's so weird. And then down here, flow, flow, flow. The rest of this is okay. This is going to make it look like a hot mess, but we can start to see things take shape, okay? So we don't have any border radius or anything like that, but lots and lots of spacing. In fact, we can correct the order list and unordered list spacing right now, okay? Going back to our styles, way up into the ULOL, right at the top, we can go dash flow space, add in a variable, and dash space 100, I believe. Space 100, just 8 pixels. I grabbed that from the Figma file, which means everything should get a little bit nicer, okay? It is, did I do something wrong? Oh, you know what? I totally did. This doesn't go on ULOL. It goes on LI. Okay, this is one of those things where if you add it to the wrong element, it will collapse a lot more. So I want the space between the heading and the list to be whatever my default spacing is. But between each list item, it should absolutely be that 8 pixels. Okay, so this is going to make it better. This is where we want to be. Okay. Again, everything's looking really good. So now we can get into our block styles. We already have recipes started, so we are just going to keep building into that. Okay. Right here, our border radius. Border radius of dash dash radius large. Yes, that's the one. And our padding, which is dash dash space 500. Okay. That's actually going to need to change in a bit, because if we look at this, if you have access to the Figma file, while it is, come on, where is it here? Somewhere. Where's the line? It's not working. While it's 40 here, right? Way over here, it's actually quite a bit less. There's the line. It's 32. So on mobile views, on small views, it's 32 pixels. And anything bigger than that, it's 40. Okay. So we're actually going to have to change that in a bit. But for now, we're just going to leave it there, okay, at 40. And we'll come back to the responsiveness in a second. So recipe image like this, overflow hidden, right? We've done that before. Oh, where did it go? Overflow hidden. There it is. And the border radius of dash dash radius small. Okay. So that's going to bring this in line and start making things look really, really sharp. Okay. Moving down the page, dash recipe content. Excellent. Okay. So recipe content, check this out. Okay. The only thing that we're going to do in recipe content is worry about our spacing. Okay. So right here, we add in that star because we want to affect the contents, right? Not recipe content itself, but the contents. So right here, flow space, just like this, colon, semicolon, going back, and then the variable, which is dash dash space, and the space is 400. Okay. So a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter. We can check that out. So we're going to see some things kind of close up just a little bit, right? Tiny amounts. Now, inside of our section elements, we also need to adjust this space. We also need to adjust the space between this heading and this paragraph, okay? So we're going to do those in one step. We're going to go section, all those elements, what the child elements of each section, and comma, our paragraphs, okay? Specifically our paragraph in the root of our container. So if it goes recipe content paragraph, then we can grab that. And there's only one place that happens. That is this paragraph right here. Okay, everything else is inside of another element. Okay, could I have, getting into it, could I have wrapped all of this in some sort of a div or something? Yeah, I could have, right? And maybe that would have been the easier way, but I didn't. I've already committed to this markup, so I'm going to stay with it. Okay, and it's not too much harder. We just go and add flow space. Okay, and again, that's going to be a variable dash dash space 300. Okay. Again, I'm pulling all these spaces out of the Figma file. So having access to this file makes your life way easier because you can see things. You can go in here and see some of this space. There's the 24, right? That's that 300. Okay. You can go up here check this, that's the 24. So you can start to pull these measurements out, okay? All while grabbing other measurements, like the fact that this is 400 or 40 pixels, okay? So it's all in there, and you can see that that is it for that, okay? Which means that now everything is looking pretty shiny, right? We could push this up, and I think people would go, wow, that's kind of pretty. But we have to take care of this preparation time block, okay? So let's go do that. That's the next step, okay? Right here, prep time. We have a few different things. So background color, okay, is going to be -- rows 50, okay? So we can totally do that. And then border radius, do it right, is going to be radius small, okay? We have that. And padding, okay? Padding is going to be -- space 300, okay? So right off the bat, we can take a look. We get something a little bit closer to what we're trying to get, looking pretty shiny. We should take care of the H2 right away. So the H2 has a color of -- rows 800. There it is. In fact, we need to change the marker as well. And remember, because of how we set that up, we have marker color, which is var -- rows 800. It's going to, sometimes if I forget that semicolon, it tries to jump around on me. Stop that. There it is. Okay. So we've updated the color for both the text and the bullet. Okay. Moving on. Font family. It is -- font. Sans serif. Come on. Yes. Okay. Because it is our outfit. Okay. It's the outfit font. And font size right here. This is our last text style. It's text size 3. Excellent. And the font weight. This is the only place that we use 600, just like that. Everything's coming into play. Spacing is not right. So let's go and take care of that. That is right here. Okay. So again, we put it on all of the children. -- flow space, adding a semicolon so that this doesn't do silliness to me. -- space 200. Okay. So it's a little bit tighter than the other components, than the other sections. Okay. Which means that now we are there, right? We have it. Again, I feel like we could do this just a little bit better. And I want to change a few things here, okay? So, number one, I want to make this its own variable, okay? I want to bring that up, and I want to set that to -- prep time, prep time color, like this, okay? And set it to that variable. In fact, I probably should do this properly. So let's go here and wrap this up. Var -- prep time color, comma, okay? So now I can grab this, copy it, and where was it here? These two things. So this one and this one, paste it in. Nice. The other thing that I want to do, okay, is I want to make this more flexible. Because right now we have these two colors. We have rows 800 and rows 50, and they're very close on the wheel. 332 and 330. And then the rows 50 has a higher lightness and saturation, okay? So what I would like to do is I'm going to bring this down for a second. and put it right, where is our code? It's all the way at the bottom. I don't know why I didn't just scroll to the bottom, but right here. And I want to comment that out so that we can use it, okay? Because if we get rid of this for a second, just like this, and I change this to HSL from our variable of -- underscore prep time color, okay? And then we grab the H, but we make the S 100% and the L 98%, which is our two numbers right here. This should be pretty close, okay? So I'm going to save that, go back, refresh it, okay? And nothing really changes, but watch this, okay? I'm going to grab this prep time color. I'm going to bring it up to recipe, paste it in, and change the color to green, okay? So in theory, everything in here should change, and it does, okay? The bullets change, the background changes, everything changes, which makes it just so much more flexible at the cost of being off by 2 degrees on the color wheel, okay? And I think that works, right? Which makes it so that if maybe I'm doing a vegetarian dish, maybe I want it green, maybe I want it Rebecca purple, like this, right? We can change that. Maybe I want it sky blue. I feel like this is going to be very, very light, but it is possible, right? It is possible because we've made it more flexible, okay? And the default is what we had before, okay? So everything in here kind of just works. And it works really, really well. Scrolling back up to the point where we've just mixed those colors together and gotten a really nice color palette for this system. Could we break this variable into something that is more easily accessible if you wanted contrasting colors or something? Absolutely. Like, of course you could, right? But I think for us, that does the trick. So I'm going to commit that. Git status like this, git diff to see all the changes, right? We added all of those classes. We added our stuff and a whole bunch of different blocks. So git add dot git commit -m style add blocks and compositions, right? That's what we did. Excellent, okay? The last thing that we need to do is responsive stuff, okay? So there is a bit of stuff in here where when this gets too small, it should change, and you'll see the text change, right, for this heading, okay? Right here, it gets big, it gets small, but we need to take care of some of these other things. I also made a mistake. Do you see the mistake? Look at this border, right? For my mobile styles, that spacing should have been a lot bigger. So let's go fix that really fast. Way up here. Instead of this space, it should have been the 950. Okay. So that's our left and right space. Okay. Now it's a little bit nicer. Okay. So, but over here, it gets pretty small, and we don't really like that. Okay. So let's go and clean it up. The first thing that I want to do is right here inside of this challenge wrapper. Okay. I want a media query in here, and I want that to be our 550 because that's what I've been using, right? So here's our min width, 550 pixels, and we're going to do stuff here. Now, before we do stuff here, I want to change some stuff. For instance, this, okay? This is the thing that happens at 550. So I want this to be down here. Now I could take this and put it down here and then set this to 0 and call it a day. Okay, I could. But in trying to make things more flexible, it makes sense to me that maybe I have a wrapper padding, okay, just like this, and I set that to 0, okay, and then I use that. Let's go here, okay, and then I use that down below, right? So I should actually set this up properly, just like this. Get rid of the underscore and set it to 0. And that way, if I needed to, I could operate on this. I could do stuff outside of the system or outside of this component and have it take effect. For now, we're only worried about this. So I copy this, bring it down, and put it here. And then I use that right here. So dash dash underscore wrapper padding. Excellent. Okay. So now everything's gone away. I still have some radius stuff here, and this image should be full width. So let's move down the page. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste this. I don't actually need the contents, but we'll come back to that. Okay. So on the recipe card, again, don't need this. Get rid of it. The border radius and the padding. Okay. We're just going to put them down there. Okay. And then the image, okay, paste it in. Oh, why did I do that? Let's copy this so I don't have to keep deleting stuff. But the border radius right there, that's all we need to do. And of course, recipe content needs to now have some stuff, okay? So for this small, remember I said this spacing is 400, okay? When it's small, there's some extra spacing in here where it is 400 pixels between this and this, okay? 32 pixels, which is our 400 measurement, okay? So we're going to do that, and then if we do that, we're going to see something pretty interesting here. So this is going to be padding 0. I'm going to come back to it. Let's refresh. Boom. The interesting thing is that we have a lot of space here, and that's because we have the padding and the margin. Okay? Those two things are working against us. We don't want that. So right underneath this padding, we're going to go padding block start 0. And there we are. Okay? There's the whole page, the whole thing, just working beautifully. Okay, commit it. Git add dot git commit -m style add responsive styles. Perfect. Let's finish out by reviewing. Okay, let's quickly take a look at what we've done. So if I make this nice and big, it's going to grow into the spot. It's looking really sharp, but we're going to go right about here, and I'm going to find that image. So right here, into the design, into the desktop, I'm going to open that into my helper utility, CleanShot X, and I'm going to crop it down, okay? Just like this, getting a few extra bits in there. Crop, pin it. Excellent. It should be 100% if I've done this right. It is. Okay. Now, moment of truth. You ready? Here we go. Come on, get up there. There it is. Look at this. What's going on here? Okay. This is, it took me a while to figure this out. So let's talk about it for a second. Sometimes the design, the mock-ups that they give you are not the most up-to-date mock-ups. And what I mean by that is if I go back to Figma with this exact same thing and zoom in, it should be right here, okay? Zoom in so that it's 100% and put this on top. it doesn't line up here either. Okay, it's annoyingly not lining up. So let's do something else. Okay, I'm gonna take this file here, make sure that we get it, desktop. Okay, scroll down to the bottom of here, this export desktop, yes please. We're gonna put it on the desktop. Apparently I already had it, so I'm gonna replace that, but that's okay. Same thing, it's here. I'm gonna open that with clean shot. I'm going to do all the same stuff, so crop it down here, crop it down here, just like this. Excellent. Pin it again, change the opacity on it, and let's go back. Okay, so now if I'm here and I've done this right, I mean, why wouldn't this line up? It absolutely should, because it came from here. Okay, and if I go over to my browser and move this around, now it is exactly lined up. Okay, a little bit fuzzy because I'm having troubles getting it perfect, but there it is. It's sharp. Okay, and it looks really well. We could go and compare with the rest of the file to make sure that it's all there. In fact, what is going on here? That's not right, is it? I have a bug. What is going on? Let's go debug it. Get rid of this. Why is it the 300 and not the 100? Where is that? This is one of those spots where we have a bit of an issue, right? So the weight of this is higher than the weight of the UL LI stuff, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Not what I wanted. So I think let's go and debug it really fast. Okay, right here, I should be able to take this and go where, wrap this up. Okay, so that we have, oh, you know what? I know what I did. Ha! I forgot an arrow. There it is. Okay, so I was about to do something silly, but I need to operate on direct children here. Okay, so now if I go back, there it is. That was my bad, but I'm glad that we went through it. Now, if I wanted to compare this, it would be pretty close. Okay, I think you might find some subpixel rendering or something like that, but there it is. So, quick review of what we did. We did a ton of markup. Okay, a magical, just a monster ton of markup. And if you're looking at this, you're going to see right here, it's a card, right? We've talked about cards and how cards are everywhere. Well, here it is. We have a wrapper with a picture and a content wrapper. Okay, ultimately, the whole page is a single card, but that's okay. We did that. We got it all in there. And then we used just a ton of globals. And the globals carried us most of the way, so that when we got down here, if I zoom out just a little bit, okay, this is our recipe. Okay, this is all the styles that we needed for our recipe card. Okay, there's a few in here because of the media queries. But yeah, we have some variables around background, some stuff around borders. We're using a lot of those tokens to get it done. Okay, a lot of the tokens, and most of our styles are just controlling the vertical space. Okay, and then that prep time block, right? We did that. We added it. We made it a little bit more flexible by ignoring some things. This is something that you probably want to discuss with your designer first, just to make sure, right? Make it as flexible as possible while getting designer sign off. I made the call today, but in professional work, that's something that I would talk to the designer about. Again, a little bit of flow spacing, a whole lot of token use everywhere, and it is good. Okay, I would have no problem showing this to a designer and hopefully getting their approval. And that's it. 2 videos, almost an hour and a half, which is probably, well, it would have been long if we had done it in a single session. So I hope you took a good break before watching the second one, because breaks are important, especially as developers. We spend a lot of time at screens. Did you find something interesting about this? Is there something surprising, like the fact that ultimately it's another card? Was that surprising to you? I'm constantly surprised by where that card pattern can be used, just about everywhere. Were you surprised by something else? By maybe the fact that we could make this completely flexible without having to redo code to get these bullets working, right? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you found surprising, what you found challenging, what you found confusing, right? So that I can try and clarify that for you and make it easier. Okay. And yeah, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one.